Hello! So, today we're going to make a tartiflette. Why? Because this is the traditional food of the mountains where I'm at right now. And we are close to the Savoie region in the Alps in France. Les deux Alpes. My French husband is behind the camera, so I have to check with him on French translation. So for this amazing, easy recipe that goes against everything I know about my Mexican food, but obviously I am here in France to learn something new. And as soon as I look at this recipe, I automatically wanted to add some chili, some herbs, but I have to stop myself from doing that because really, I like to be learning from the region and understand why people cook the way they do. And where I come from, a potato dish would be a side dish, but here it's like the center of a table, and it's super traditional. And here is why. So it's basically using the ingredients of the region, and what the most important part, I think, is this bacon. Oh my gosh, look at this. Well, I know you can't really find bacon like this just anywhere. You kind of do have to ask for it or go a little bit out of your way to get this quality, but check that out. It's also, I think it's smoked with wood. It's smoky, it's fatty. I was like looking up the difference between regular American bacon and lardons, and really it's bacon. It's just French do it better. Sorry. I mean, this is a salt cure and then smoked and then cured again. So with salt, with time and aged, and all of the love and passion that people put into the food here is incredible. And look, it's like, how do I explain this? It's like butter. So I'm gonna cut a little bit of this, and then really for this recipe, I need like 4 strips, this thick. 4 strips, because it has so much flavor. I don't really need all that much, but look at the end, how it looks. I mean, is this serious bacon or what? Okay, then you're gonna need fresh sliced onion, 2 onions, 3 boiled potatoes. Boiled, I started with cold water and then like a teaspoon of salt, and boil it until a knife goes through like this. Just like that. We want it to have a little bit of bite, not like so boiled that it's falling apart. The best part about all of this dish, and I think what it's trying to display, is this cheese. Reblochon. Okay, like that. So check this out. See the attention to detail? I mean, this piece of wood, what is that about? What's this? Just to hold the moisture. This is a special one from the special cheese shop. ¿Cómo se dice?
Fromagerie.
Yes, fromagerie. So I was told that I'm supposed to take a little bit of that off. Some people take a little bit of that rind, but this is such a good quality one that we're going to keep it. I think, yeah, keep it all. And then some white wine and some crème fraîche and a little bit of milk. And I use the milk only to kind of like help coat the potatoes. So here we go. First, we're going to just cut the bacon. So I'm just gonna make small cubes just because I like how the bacon can render and help with the onions, to help saute the onions. Some recipes say saute the onions first with butter, but there's so much fat in here, I don't think we need to add more fat. So come with me. So as soon as it starts to release a little bit of the fat, that's when I want to add my onions, because I don't want crispy bacon with this. I don't want crispy bacon. I want basically just to release some of that fat so that I can saute the onions. Then I just dump my onions. In the beginning, it looks like a lot of onions, but you will see that if you just let them saute at medium heat, medium to low, gently saute with the bacon fat, a lot of that water is going to be reduced. And we wanted to caramelize the onions to a very light brown. We don't want to add too much caramelization, because then it's going to compete with the cheese, and we don't really want it to compete with the cheese. We want it to enhance the flavor. Okay, while the onions are sauteing, I'm gonna prepare my dish, and I'm gonna just add enough butter so that it coats the bottom of the porcelain oven-proof dish. You can use a casserole pan, you use cast iron if you have it, a Pyrex, anything that's oven safe. And because this is the only kind of butter that the only butter I'm gonna use, I do a nice coating, a nice thick coating, just like that. And then with my potatoes. So once you boil them, it's easier to take the peel off. So I'm going to, if it was me, I would keep the peel, but the French tradition is to peel the potatoes. I mean, my grandma says that there's a lot of nutrients on the skin, but it might be too much flavor and compete with the cheese again. So, okay, so I'm gonna peel these potatoes and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to add fresh pepper. Fresh black pepper, salt, sea salt, fleur de sel, and a little bit of the magic. Here is a fresh nutmeg. So you just take this and give it a little bit of a shake. And this is very strong, so you don't need a lot. Just a little, 10 times. And then we're gonna add the white wine. And that's going to help to deglaze the pan and more evenly cook the onions through. So once that reduces a little bit, then we're gonna add the cream. So now that I cut my potatoes, do you see, just like this? Do you see how they hold the shape? That's very important when you're like cook it with the skin, that it holds the shape. And I like it because it's a little bit more like a kind of a beautiful casserole. And so what I'm gonna do is, in my already buttered pan, is I'm just gonna layer the bottom. I saw a recipe that called it, I think it's like an American cook that just called it like potato pie. And I don't know. Nope. Everything said no. Everything in me said nope, nope, nope. Potato pie. It's not a potato pie, I guess. I mean, okay. So a nice layer on the bottom. So because there's no seasoning on this, really, I'm gonna do a little layer of salt and another little layer of nutmeg on the potatoes. These potatoes have no flavor yet, but we're about to change that. I remember going with my grandma in the backyard and digging for potatoes. So what we mostly did is just boil them with salt. I had them with salt. Your dad does that too, right? Doesn't your dad? Oh, your dad makes a most amazing variety. They're like creamy potatoes. So salt, pepper, and a little bit of nutmeg. Then I go to my pan. It's already, see, it's already nicely caramelized. In here, I'm going to just add this mix to the potatoes. I've seen recipes too where they just mix everything, and I just think this looks nicer on the pan, and then also, or mix it on the dish. And I kind of eyeball it, so this looks good. And then I'm gonna do another layer of potatoes, just like that, so that it looks beautiful, because these ingredients are so amazing. I want to keep the integrity of them. Do you see what I mean? In a little bit. You know, it would taste very delicious if you just mixed the whole lot, I'm sure. But why not? Just take that little extra time of layering. And so that when it comes to the table, there's a little bit of a wow factor. And we all know I love to show off and have everybody say, wow. I mean, am I the only one? Who doesn't?
American style.
Oh yeah, who doesn't like to show off? Who doesn't like a whole table to go, wow, when you bring a dish?
It's true.
If you put so much time and effort, you know, you don't want somebody to be like, what is that? Okay, so then I am going to, on top of that, potatoes, remember, because they have no flavor yet, it's just boiled potatoes. That's where I put my cream mix. And so it's creme fraiche and a little bit of milk, just because creme fraiche is a little bit kind of thick. And to me, that milk just gives it that extra moisture for everything to come together. And also I'm gonna finish baking everything together, and that liquid of the milk is going to steam the potatoes and make it saucy at the same time. Okay, so that's what we have so far. I'm gonna say just a little bit of salt on the potatoes, just because there is no flavor yet. And then just a little bit. Then our beautiful cheese. Our beautiful, beautiful cheese. See? And I'm going to take a quarter of this because I'm doing it for 2 people. I'm gonna take a quarter. And this was how many grams? A little too big for us.
This one is 450, and you will use 340.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. Am I the only one that gets excited about this like this here? Do you get excited about this even though you're French and you've seen it so many times?
It will be exciting when it will be in my plate.
Oh! And me, I get excited about every moment. So you're supposed to cut it like this, and it's so creamy, it's like actually difficult. You see that? This is how the knife came out. Okay, and then you open it up. Oh, you see that? Oh my God. And so you're supposed to put it facing down. That's the important part. Voila! Just like this. The last bit is just to put it into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is the final result. 25 minutes is enough in a convection, and then maybe like in a non-convection, 30, 35. But we want to get a nice golden color. Nice golden color, nice crust, all melted together. And so the way that it's done is that it's accompanied with a salad. This one is like with a little bit of marché. And what's that green called that I just learned about today?
Cresson.
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 Cresson. Okay. That. It's really peppery kind of green. And all I did is just toss it with a little bit of lemon juice, honey, olive oil, salt and pepper. So I'm gonna dig in. And so, like I was telling you that this is a dinner. This is really like for four people, I would say. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. And so see that creaminess? That's what I was talking about. And so it looks beautiful to serve this like that on a plate. And with a little bit of greens, just like that. And voila, tartiflette, and with a little bit of salad.